Gentleman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, last time you were here, I told you that my constituents consider you a traitor. Today, I'd like to explain why they believe this and ask you a few questions. I'd like to introduce first my constituent, Stephanie Granados. She lives in Loveland, Colorado, with her mother, Monica, and younger brother, Axel. She is 24 years old, bilingual in English and Spanish, a Christian woman who works as a restaurant server and is a loyal friend to those around her. Unfortunately, Mr. Secretary, that's only what I wish I could tell you about Stephanie. Stephanie's dead. A year ago, this young woman was poisoned. She never made it to age 24. Her mother's only glimpse of her now is in old photographs, and her brother misses his older sister. Stories like that are normal conversations in Colorado. Stories like this begin with fentanyl. But where does fentanyl begin? Many times it starts among chemical manufacturing firms in China. Companies like the recently indicted Hebei Sinaloa trading company from the Hebei province in China. It manufactures and advertises the drug's ingredients to buyers in Mexico. Using common mail and import fraud tools like forged custom documents and falsely labeled packages, firms ship the product upon purchase to drug dens in cities like Guadalajara. After preparation, these facilities finish the product and smuggle it by truck, by car, and by humans across our southern border. Chopped into counterfeit pills that are pressed to look exactly like legitimate pharmaceuticals or mixed with cocaine or other substances, Americans buy those drugs. And it's like a walking minefield. These illegal drugs are then used to kill American citizens. According to the CDC, over 150 people are dying every day because of synthetic opioids like fentanyl. CDC's National Center for Health Statistics reported 79,770 opioid-involved overdose fatalities in 2022, and over 80% of opioid deaths are attributed to fentanyl. In my home state of Colorado, fentanyl deaths remain near record levels. According to the Denver Post, more Coloradans have died of ingesting the drug in 2022 than overdosed on all drugs in 2016. And according to the Department of Justice's latest report on the subject, 64% of federal arrests involve non-citizens committing crimes, despite them comprising only 7% of the population. Secretary Mayorkas, I'm going to ask a couple questions and answer them for you before I give you a chance to respond. But is China responsible? I'm sorry. Recently, you spoke at the Aspen Security Forum and stated that China bears responsibility for this. Is China responsible for keeping the southern border open to smugglers? Nope. Is China responsible for the Mexican cartel's emboldened attitude in the American drug trade? Nope. Is China responsible for the impunity of more illegal aliens committing crimes in America? Nope. Is China responsible for the record high 98 aliens on the terrorist watch list crossing the southwest border in 2022? Nope. Is China responsible for the 856 illegal aliens who died while crossing the southwest border last year? No. And that's more than 300 deaths, by the way, than 2021, and more than 3 times as many in 2020. Is China responsible for the 9,200 aliens with criminal convictions crossing the border illegally just this year to date? Nope. Is China responsible for the estimated 1.5 million illegal alien gotaways that crossed the border undetected under your watch? Nope. Is China responsible for the 1.2 million removable aliens who have been told by a judge that they must leave the U.S. but insist on staying? Secretary Mayorkas, it is your responsibility to secure our border against fentanyl trafficking. The fentanyl killing thousands of Americans every year is a direct result of your dereliction. When people die of fentanyl poisoning, it is your fault. What would you say to Stephanie Granados' family if they were here right now?
Congressman, we grieve the loss of any life as a result of the toxicity, the devastation of fentanyl. The challenge of fentanyl is not new. It has been escalating for more than 5 years. I believe there were more than 50,000 overdose deaths from fentanyl in 2020. This is a scourge that all of us have to work together to combat. And we in the Department of Homeland Security, with our federal partners, are taking it to the traffickers to an unprecedented degree through innovative operations targeting criminals. And I stand by my statement at Aspen that China does bear responsibility because many of the precursor chemicals and the pill press equipment that are used to manufacture fentanyl does originate from there. This is a complex problem. We are taking it to the criminals, and I look forward to working with you, Congressman, to address this challenge, which has been only building over many years in this country.
I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Yields back. Gentlelady from